The Series S has been out for just over 2 years, and do I still feel that it's the best value for most people? Welcome to Busy Dad Gaming, the place for busy dads and all things Xbox. Now, when I made my original video going over why I feel that most people are going to be better off with the Series S, it was based on a few points. The first up is the price point that you're looking at. You also have Game Pass, and then just your overall dad life or lifestyle. After looking at those 3 different points, has my opinion actually changed over the past couple of years? And in a word, no. In fact, the Series S, in my personal opinion, has only gotten better in value as we've gone along. And let me share why. Now, first up, we have its price. And the Series S was actually discounted by up to $50 in the States, which actually just increased the value, whereas other competition were increasing the price of their hardware. So you also have, when you're building a PC, for example, because I just ended up doing a case swap, so I was looking at PC component pricing here recently, to build a PC that is on par or roughly close to the Series S, you're going to be looking at around the $800 price point, which most of that just comes from the GPU alone. So from a price perspective, the value that the Series S is generating just for the console itself is really hard to beat. Now, the second piece in there is that Game Pass has only gotten better with time. Now, when you're looking at the price of Game Pass, I do foresee it increasing in 2023, so that is something to be aware of. When you're looking at 2023, it's also looking to be very stacked with games, especially from a first-party perspective. We're going to be looking at things like Avowed, Redfield, Starfield. There's a ton of third-party games that are going to be coming to the platform, and there's just a lot that we also don't even know. There's going to be a lot of surprises. Now, why I say this ends up adding to the Series S being a better value is because in the past, when you bought a console, you also had to buy a couple games to go along with it, which just ends up increasing that overall cost. So in the past, you would end up paying $300 for a console, for example, and then possibly 2 or 3 different games, which, up to $180 right there, and that's only 3 games. Now, when you're looking at Game Pass, you're getting access to hundreds of games that you can immediately start downloading with that new console. Granted, you do have the issue with storage, but between the console and Game Pass, you can get up and running, and the overall value, to me personally, is a lot higher than it has been in the past. Which third brings me to dad life or lifestyle. Different things that are going to be impacting your decisions are going to be things like, what's your overall budget? What kind of consoles do you already own today? Do you already have a PS5 or a Switch as an example? How much time do you actually have to game? Because that's going to be a big piece of it. You're also looking at what kind of TV do you currently have, and do you plan to upgrade anytime soon? 54% of Americans, as an example, are still not on 4K. So depending on your answer to some of these questions will really help you better understand whether a Series S or a Series X is going to be the best option. And in my personal opinion, from a value perspective, the Series S is going to be a better choice for most people. Ultimately, the Series S has sold roughly half of all series consoles, according to Phil Spencer. Now, granted, there are the things like chip shortages, economic conditions, supply issues. There's been a lot of challenges. So all things being equal, I still feel that mainstream audiences will end up going after the Series S over the Series X over, an equal period of time. And it even encourages other adopters of other technologies to attempt to try the Xbox ecosystem to see if it's a good fit for them. I've talked to a lot of people that are, PS5 owners today, and then they end up buying a Series S just so they can get access to a lot of those Xbox first-party titles. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't a target market for the Series X. As an example, I am the target market for a Series X. I love being an early adopter of technology. I love getting the latest and greatest. And yeah, sometimes you're going to run into issues where you have the 4090 and the plugs spontaneously combust. But for the most part, the Series S is going to be the best mainstream console for the most people. And it really does encourage, even if you don't own a console, or even if you do own a console like a PS5 or a Switch, to try out the Xbox ecosystem to see if it's going to be a good fit for you. It is at a lower price point. It gives you access to hundreds of games right out of the box. Now, if you're unsure of which Xbox to go with, make sure to check out my playlist going over all the different Xbox options, and I'll help you choose which one's going to make the most sense for you, and I'll see you over there.